Brenda Miller from Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you some of the projects that I've been working on. And just to tell you news about Stampin' Up and things like that. So today we are going to make a card using the Curved Occasions bundle. That bundle is going to be retiring, although the punch will carry over. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. So give me a second, switch over to my desktop. Okay, so here we have the stamp set, and this stamp set is great for a lot of different occasions, and it's a little retro with our roller skate. Anybody remember roller skating? And I would love to pair it with this, which is the ball that used to go around, right, the disco ball. We have a birthday cake, an adorable car, and a bouquet of flowers. So you can see that can go for a lot of different occasions, and it has a bunch of nice sayings. And the reason it's called Curved Occasion is because this bundle comes with this punch. And as I mentioned, this punch will be carrying over. I can't get it to not reflect something that it shouldn't. There we go. And different words will fit in here. And one thing I want to show you, which I'm not going to be doing today on our card, but anytime you have a photopolymer stamp, you can shape it any way you want. So what you can do is go ahead and curve your saying and stamp it that way, as you can see here, and then it will fit into the punch. So these are all designed to do that, and there are actually a couple of already curved sentiments. Now let me put this back. This goes here. That's how I store my, and that's how these boxes are designed. When their stamps come, they come on this sheet, and then when you peel them off, you can put them onto their images, and that way you can always tell if something's missing, because it's very easy to lose these little sticky things, right? Okay, so that adorable stamp set and the cute punch that goes with it are still available. This will be retiring, and if you purchase just the stamp set itself, it is right now on sale for 10% off. The bundle itself, when you buy a bundle, you get a 10% discount on both. So it just makes sense. If you're just buying the stamp set, you'll get your 10%, and if you buy it as a bundle, you'll get 10%. But if you buy the punch by itself, you don't get 10%. So that's how that works, and that's just because of our last chance sale. So let's go ahead and make this card. Look how cute this is. I want you to see. Oh, you can't really see it right now, but we'll show you soon. Look at the shimmer on our car, just like in real life, right? Love to see that. So that's the card we're going to make. And just so that you know, this card is one of the cards I'm making at my Stamp-A-Stack class this Friday and Saturday. And if you're interested in those in-person classes, you need to make sure that you RSVP so that I know and am prepared for you. But for everybody, we're going to learn how to make this today. And it features a couple of different things. So I'm kind of excited to share it with you. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about things as we get to them. All right, so we're going to start with our card base, and actually for the card base, sometimes you put white inside, sometimes you don't. This Balmy Blue is light enough that you don't really have to. And then I'm just going to put this aside. So those of you watching to learn how to make this for Friday's class, just note that we're going to put it aside at first, okay? Because we're going to do a couple of things with our card front. And that the first thing is, what we want to do is emboss just half of our the basic white piece that's going to go on the cover. Now, the embossing folder I'm using is one from the online exclusives basics embossing folder set. It comes with 3 different embossing folders. One is polka dots, there's this one, and then there's a crosshatch one. And I think we've used the other 2, so we're using the 3rd one today so that you can see it. And I just wanted to share with you, and I don't think I've ever done this with you before, but sometimes you don't want to emboss the whole thing. Now, we're going to be covering the bottom half with some designer series paper, but sometimes you just want to emboss the top half or bottom half, whatever, or one side and not the other. And I want to show you how to do that. And plus, it makes it easier to stick this to the paper so that it adheres properly. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me just show you how I did this. All I did was open the embossing folder and I slid it in about halfway down. Now, I didn't measure this, but I happen to know that this piece is 3 inches long, so I needed it to cover about 2¼ inches. So I just guessed, and it looks like I got close. Probably did about 2½ inches, but that's okay to have a little bit of overlap. And then what I did is I put it through my Big Shot like this. I'm sorry, this way. Normally you would put the embossing folder into the machine with the fold side facing the machine. It's hard for me. I don't want to bring out the Big Shot because the way my camera is set up, it just, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So just imagine this is the handle, right? Oops, where's my hand? There's the handle. And then normally you would put it through with the folded side there. Instead, because this paper sticks out and it would go beyond, it wouldn't fit into the machine, we're going to face it this way. Okay, and then it'll go through the machine just fine. Okay, and when it comes out, you'll see that you have just part of it embossed. So that is a quick and easy way to do partial embossing, which is what that technique is called. Okay, so now we're going to take our designer series paper and we're going to take our adhesive and adhere this to the bottom of the piece. This paper is from the delightfully eclectic package of designer series paper that's in the main catalog, and this is our annual catalog, and it's at the bottom of page 129, and it features 48 sheets, and there are 12 different designs, and so you get 4 sheets of each, which is lots and lots and lots of paper, and it's wonderful for people like me who are doing classes to be able to maximize the pieces that we can use for each class. So just something to know about, and we're going to actually use some of others of these in class this week as well. Okay, so now that I've got that there, I want to wrap some ribbon around the seam. I just like that finished look that you get. So this ribbon, look how pretty it is. And this is also in the annual catalog. It's the Night of Navy bordered ribbon. And we're just going to give that a snip. Okay, I don't have to worry about it being angled or featured specially. And then I'm going to take my regular adhesive and I'm going to put it down the sides. Now, you know how I feel about my new rule is if something is embossed, we use a little bit of wet adhesive so that it gets into the nooks and crannies to make sure that it sticks, because sometimes these will pull up, okay? Because there's texture there, and so sometimes it does. Oops, look what I did. Now that I did that, I need to now wrap my ribbon around and get it to stick to the back. So you see I lay it down, and now it's stuck on the back to that adhesive that I did down the sides of the paper. And then go ahead and put it onto the card front. And I am so used to it having be wet glue that I wasn't as careful as I normally should be. Okay, so here we have it on our card front, and that's kind of a cool look, right? Okay, so we'll set that aside again, and then I'm going to take some basic white paper, and I'm going to cut it out using these awesome deckled circle dies. I think I've used these before, but I don't think I've shown them on my live. So you see how they have deckled edge. Deckled just means that it's not smooth, right? It looks like it's torn paper maybe. And this one is, let's see, it's almost 3 inches wide, just shy of 3 inches wide. So you can see where it falls on the circles of the size that I used. Okay, so there, that's what I die cut my circle from. And there it is. All right, now we're going to stamp. And I am using the car. How cute is that car, right? And I'm going to use Memento ink. And I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I want a nice image, but also because I'm going to color them with the Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol based. We've used them before, I know, but I just wanted to share that again for those of you who may not have seen. Let's do that. And I'm just stamping it right on to my circle, and I'm going to go ahead and also stamp the happy birthday. This is one of the ones that was already curved, but like I showed you, we could use any of the sentiments in there. Why they didn't make them all curved, I'm not really sure, but they didn't. And I'm just going to stamp that on here so that I can punch it out. Okay, so there we have our happy birthday and our car. I'm going to punch this out right away just so that you see how that works. So I just open up the punch. And as you know, we always work with our punches upside down so that we can see what we're doing. And we're just making sure that this gets centered into our curve. Give it a squeeze and out it pops. Okay. So that is so much easier than trying to hand cut it. We've had various dies that did the curve, but we've never really had a punch that made that curved label for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and color this in, and I'm going to use my Balmy Blue and my Smoky Slate markers. I'm just using the light Smoky Slate. I like to keep my colors light when I can, and then I'm going to use both the dark and the light Balmy Blue. I'm going to start with the dark, and note that I almost always use the bullet tip. Okay, I use the bullet tip because when I use the brush tip, I don't get to be as precise as I would like, so that this causes much less frustration. And what I like to do with the darker color is go over all the lines and maybe shaded areas that the stamp provides. As you can see, I'm just going over each one, and let's see, and kind of just outlining. And I'm usually a little bit better at this, but I'm kind of have a camera in my face, right? So it's a little harder to do. And I'm not being just, totally perfect. I'm just going over it. Okay, so you can see that's just a little bit of the darker blue. And then I'm going to come back in with the lighter blue, again, using the bullet tip because I'm working in a relatively small area. And then I'm going to color these in. I forgot that I think I want to make my wheel coverings in the darker color, so I'll come back and do that. But I love using these markers because it looks, when you're doing it, you might see some lines when you're coloring, but when you're done, they all disappear, and it's just such a nice, smooth look. So I'm making sure I get close to the edges. Okay, so you can kind of see that it pulls the color. Okay, let me just go back to my dark again, fill in where I meant to fill in. So I was just doing my wheel covers in that darker color. Okay, so now we have a blue car. I know it's always so much fun to watch somebody else color, isn't it? Maybe not, but it still is good. Okay, so now we're going to use the Smoky Slate. And I'm just going to make my tires. I'm not really doing any blending or anything here because the area is so small. Now, I think on my sample that I made, I didn't color the lights at all, but I did color the fenders. And who knows if I'm using the right terminology for on a car, but there we go. And I'm going to also do, what do you call this? This is the cover that comes up on a convertible. So I don't remember what that's called. If somebody knows, please tell me. I'd love to know. I know it has a name. And there we go. So not a whole lot of effort went into that, into coloring that. It does not take very long. I left the lights just blank. I could fill them in with yellow or red, but I'm just, that kind of adds too much color, too many different colors to our scheme. The next thing I want to do, though, is I want to attach the happy birthday to the top of my circle. And I'm going to be putting this up on dimensionals, so I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive down now. And I'm actually going to use my wet adhesive for this, just to get it where I want it. And hopefully I'm in the right area. And then I'm going to take my little banner. And what's nice about it being wet is I can fiddle with it if I want, if I need to, but here we go. Now we have our image. Okay, so we have that, and then we're going to go ahead and put that on the front of the card using dimensionals. There were tons of dimensionals here. Here they are. I had them before. So I'm just going to use 2 for now. Peel off the backings and then add this to my card front. Okay, and so that's a cute card, but let's go ahead one step further, and we're going to use our Wink of Stella marker. Everything can use a little Wink of Stella. It's a little bit of glitter in a brush, and I'm going to, you know, like when you see cars, they have a little shimmer in the paint. Maybe not always, but a lot of times they do. And I said, wow, let us give our car a little shimmer. And so here we are. We're just going to put this Wink of Stella over. Now, I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can, but I'm going to pick it up in 1 second so that you can see where the shimmer went. So if I hold it up here, see how, whoop, I got it. See how that shimmers? Isn't that fun? It just gives it that little bit of extra. Okay, and because, you know, more glitter, more glimmer and glitter is better always, I'm going to take out our festive pearls, which I have been using a lot of. These come in the, you get in one package, you get 4 colors of these very shiny little pearls. The last color is gold. You can see I've used all of those up. Don't worry, I will be using up the rest of them eventually. But I'm just going to use my take your pick tool. Whoops. And I'm going to lay down my little pearls. I'm just going to use 3, always using an odd number, just to keep the eye moving across the card. Whoop. And put this last one over here. And there we have it. So that is our card for today. So let's see. So that was what I wanted to show you today. And just to remind you that the September through December catalog is only available until the end of December. And a lot of it is while supplies last. Only a small portion of it will be carrying over to future catalogs. They may not be seen again until the next year's holiday catalog, or they may be in the new catalog that launches in April. But for now, we still can get this bundle as a bundle or individually. The stamp set is 10% off. And don't forget, if you're ordering for Christmas, please make sure that you get your orders in by December 11th. That's when they've told us that they are pretty sure that it will get to you before Christmas if you place those orders by December 11th. I know that's always tricky this time of year, so earlier is always better, and I highly recommend kits if you're looking for gifts, unless you know you're the person you're buying for, or for yourself, right? You can always do that. So, but anyway, that's all I have for this week. If you need anything else, please be sure to let me know. And otherwise, I'll see you next week at the same time. Take care. Bye-bye.